transmogs, the whole transmogs that you've collected, everything from retail WoW moved into the new game with new graphics and a new engine, and you have those collectibles. Guys, everybody's excited about the next WoW expansion, right? Everybody is excited about those dragons flying around, the new WoW mechanics. And guys, there seems to be a trend in Blizzard. What they're trying to do now is they're trying to have the WoW mechanics they want to separate these mechanics from the traditional MMO mechanics from 20 years ago, when you have a keybind that only works when you have a valid target. No, this time they want you to interact with your character, with the environment directly, ladies and gentlemen. For example, you have a keybind that you press, it works regardless if you have a target or not. So it's essentially like a third-person hack and slash or third-person game. And that's the kind of shift they want to do. They tried it with a Demon Hunter, didn't quite work that well, and now they're trying to refine it with Dragonflight using the new Dragon class, whatever it's called. I don't know, Draki or something. I don't know. Anyways, guys, you can see there's one of those screenshots or the videos that were proposed of the game during the last alpha. Anyways, guys, there was a moment in the alpha footage of the game for people who were playing it, in which they had this move where the character would fly in front in a straight path in front, and then he would just blow something on the ground. I think it was a healing AoE or something like that. It indicates that there's a shift towards moving and transitioning the game. But guys, that's not the elephant in the room. It's not about the new character mechanics. Guys, we're all missing something big here. The company wants to move on. The company wants to change. And that's an assumption that's based on very, very sound reasoning. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start this from the ground up. Let me build my case, and let me present my case to you. And I'm confident that at the end of the case, you will probably agree with most of what I said, if not everything that I said. Guys, we're talking about a company. Company, as a company, from the first day, wants to survive. It's either a company that aims to be acquired, or a company that wants to survive for the longest possible time to make money. That's the company business. Now, what strengthens a company is the fact that the company produces its value. You know, the art that's in the game, the value of the product, the actual production and the novelty in the product. See, these are all things that contribute to a company's value, that serve the major purpose of making money as a company, and also serve the purpose of getting out your message. So you have these two valuable constructs that form any successful company. Look at Apple. Look at Steve Jobs and those people. You know, they always had these two mindsets going at the same time. Maybe they would announce something else to the public. Maybe they would act like they're all artist people, you know. Oh, we don't care about the money, we care about the product needs to be perfect, etc. Guys, it's the two in parallel. It's always the two in parallel. And believe me, any successful company, even if the designer does not have the money in mind, there are enough powerful people in the company who have the money in mind and who push for their agenda, and the designer pushes for his own agenda, and both of them move in parallel in front to get their visions realized in the company. So, that's the first point. Now, taking that into consideration, it means that a company is willing to do anything to survive, to make money, or to get acquired by a different company. Once it's acquired by a different company, that's not game over, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the start of the game. It means now the company that acquired the new company ought to have that original company proceed in its original earnings, in the original success that the company was going through. And that's any purpose of any acquisition, ladies and gentlemen. So, what does that mean? It all means that WoW and Blizzard, they're all thinking about the big elephant in the room, which is WoW 2.0. Guys, we're talking about a game that is 20 years old. It was programmed before 2004. We're talking about development that began, I think, in early 2001 or something, or even before that. Now, the technology was drastically different. Everything was so different back then, and it certainly has aged. It has aged and it became outdated. they know that this, the cow is going to dry. The milk is going to run out, whether it's 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whether there are 10,000 players who will be playing this game forever until they die. This is not going to be the cow that milks a lot of milk. So, what's the plan? As any plan in any video game company, you produce something that is more advanced. You produce a new console. You produce the same game too. You produce a different game, etc., etc. And in this situation, you ask yourself, well, an MMORPG, is that still something that where people have a demand on? And based on the numbers, guys, the answer is yes. You got so many people playing Final Fantasy. You have so many people playing Lost Ark. You have so many people playing WoW, whether it's classic WoW, retail WoW, private. They all play MMO games. It's a genre of games that will always have its community. It will always be a source of revenue for any gaming company. WoW 2, certainly something that came to the minds of the people in Blizzard. And guys, come on, like, I will not provide you with quotes. I will not provide you with documents and evidence, which of course makes it all very, very juicy to see that in front of you, because it gives you, believing actual evidence is different than theorizing. But I can assure you 100% that this is something that is occurring in the minds of those people who are responsible at Blizzard. 100% without doubt, no evidence needed. Just imagine that you have a zip file, evidence.zip. Imagine that exists and you're looking at it right now. The folks at Blizzard thought about WoW 2.0. The next WoW game which is coming out, new graphics, new engine, new everything, new gameplay. The things that they're trying to do right now with the game, the Dragon class and Dragonflight and all these new mechanics where you interact with the world directly, which all indicate a new approach into a modern video game as it is the standard nowadays. A video game that's maybe going to push them for the next 20 years, who knows? Who knows? So WoW 2.0, something that's coming. Some people always try to be five-head. Some people always try to think they know everything. But guys, let us stick to the fundamentals. Let us stick to the fundamentals of any business. And let us stick to the fundamentals of any video game business, guys. So we're not talking about something that is very abstract here. We're talking about very core fundamentals. And anybody who has any experience in any sort of business understands these talking points and where they're coming from. They do not contradict logic. Let's just agree on that. So these points, they do not contradict logic at any given point. And that's the thing that you might want to remember. So if you start to activate the five-head, you want to activate the five-head because you have an emotional response right now. The emotional response that, hey, wait a second, how's this guy coming up with this? If he came up with this, then I can come up with the same thing. It means I have to prove him wrong. I have to prove that his deduction is wrong, because I want to undermine the value of what he's saying, because what he's saying is from his head, and I don't like his head because I don't know him. So you try to undermine. So it's all an emotional response that you're going through, which activates the five-head, the urge, the compulsion to prove that somebody is mistaken in something that he's talking about. But guys, let's take that emotional response aside, and let's actually think about it and look at that issue. And think about it with these core fundamentals that I have mentioned at the beginning of this video. Is it wrong? No, it's not wrong, guys. It's not wrong. Yeah, sure, maybe you're gonna have to go through different textbooks to find this written in sentences, but you and I, we both know that this is not wrong. It does not contradict any kind of logic. So guys, instead of having an emotional five-head response, think about it as if you were the one who was proposing this kind of talk. Now think about it that way. So don't feel defensive about it. Think about it with a rational mind. Separate your emotions, guys. Separate the emotions. And that is pretty much the thought process that's going on at the people at Blizzard who have something to say and who plan the direction of the company. 100%. They know this. So the question is, it's not whether, if, or not. That's not the question. It's not the question whether there should be WoW 2 or not. No, the answer is yes, 100%. That's not even the question. The question is how and when and what. It's not if, whether or not, whether it should exist or not. That's by the mere fundamentals of any business. The answer is yes. The only question remains is how, and what, and where, and how exactly. You know, the details about how exactly this should actually work and how it should actually happen and the timing, etc., and so on. So these are the actual points that are giving the company a headache in proceeding to WoW 2.0. There are many variables that play a role here. One of those variables is why do you progress to WoW 2 if you still have WoW 1 that's running. We got a new expansion coming out and people are starting to get excited for the game. People are starting to forgive the bad reputation of the company, so that's maybe going to give it another boost for another 2 or 4 years. So maybe we're going to release something in the next 6 or 8 years, you know. So think about it in that way. But it's coming out. It's on the way, ladies and gentlemen. It's on the way. It's something that's in their minds. It's something that's in the closet. They're just going to open the drawer and they're going to release it, ladies and gentlemen. So now comes the big question. What is going to make WoW 2.0? And these questions, these are the kind of questions that truly crack the nut. These are the questions that are so hard to answer that they may cancel something to begin with. So it's not that they wanted to cancel it because they wanted to. It's they might have canceled it because they had to, because they couldn't come up with something new or something different or something that would, you know, be something that takes it from there. You know what I mean? That would be the only reason why they would not release it, but not because they did not think about it. Let's be very clear about it and separate. They thought about it 100%. You can put your hand in your fire about that. So let's think about the one most exclusive thing that you and I, as people who played World of Warcraft from 2004 through the whole ordeal of Classic, everything in between from Draenor and private servers, and now the Dragon expansion, guys, everything needs to have something that you can take from those 20 years and move along to the next WoW expansion. You will automatically have a whole demographic of maybe 1 million players at least. I don't know how many, but you know, you're going to have a huge number of players that are now extremely excited to make the jump into the new game because they can take their baggage. They're moving out. They're moving out to a new apartment, but the new apartment is not blank. They can take their desk, they can take their computer, they can take their belongings, and they can refurnish the new, bigger apartment with the belongings that they already have. A big turning point for many players who have been investing in this game for a long time. Even if you're a newcomer, even if you're somebody who's new into the game, if you know that you can take some things from the game right now and move them to the next game, you will be excited to do that. And by the way, if I told you, hey, listen, you see the game that you're playing right now? Well, we're going to close this game down after a year, and everything that you're getting from the game right now could stay with you and you can take it. But after that, the game is locked and you're not going to be able to take it. What are you going to do? So if I told you there's a gold mine and you can mine the mine right now, today and tomorrow, but after tomorrow I'm shutting down the mine, you're going to stay 48 hours in the mine. You're going to try to get every single piece of gold out of that mine to move back, to move it wherever you want to move it to, right? The same thing. So they're going to lock you in playing the current bad, shitty game with the crazy dragon expansion that looks like crap. In all honesty, guys, it looks... You know, they're going to make you play it because they're going to tell you, hey, listen, you want to go to the next world, you can take everything that's here right now, but if you don't take the chance, you're never going to be able to do it, and you're going to lose on to the prestige and all the vanities and the feats of strength, etc., etc. And we all know, WoW players, guys, like, if you don't know this, I'm telling you this, guys. WoW players have a thing. They have a sweet spot. They have a very soft spot for vanities, feats of strength, achievements, collectibles, and things that make them unique, differentiate them from other people. Guys, you don't need an equation to prove that, ladies and gentlemen. They have that more in WoW, more than any other game, and I can tell you that for sure, ladies and gentlemen. So imagine this, your wardrobe in retail WoW. The wardrobe The whole wardrobe gets relocated into the new game, and now you have the transmogs, the whole transmogs that you've collected, everything from retail WoW, moved into the new game with new graphics and a new engine, and you have those collectibles. And then the new game is gonna get like so many Zoomers, so many new people who are just born, who are 10 years old, and they're gonna start playing WoW 2.0. They don't even know that WoW existed before 2.0. So they're gonna play the game and they're gonna see you with some items, some crazy gear. They're gonna ask you, where did you get that? And you say, well, I got that from the old original WoW. See? I got it from the old original WoW, you know? I'm sorry. I know that you can't get it, but I have it, you know? So they're gonna be like, whoa, you're an OG guy. You see? So you can see here that how things are going. Transmog system, collectibles, things that you got in retail, mounts, they move into WoW 2.0. The biggest selling point, everything gets revamped in a new system, everything is new. The models get redesigned and everything. They can take as much time as they want doing that, but they can do it, you know, eventually. Believe me, guys, if they start to announce something like this, then I'm 100% sold. Guys, am I trying to cope for a bad expansion? Absolutely. And believe me, guys, I'm not lying if I tell you that you have been coping as well throughout this whole video. You have been enjoying it. Don't lie to me. Tell me that you have also been feeling the same that I have been feeling, and you were inspired. You finally felt like there's hope at the end of the tunnel, because all of us are pretty much depressed about the stupid dragon expansion that's coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, guys. Let's go.